everyone, this is Pixel. How are you? Good afternoon, good morning, depending on the part of the world you're watching. So today's stream, we'll continue where we left off on the last stream. We'll continue with the legs, perhaps start with the head, and certainly we might start adding details here and there, right? So last time we started working on colors for the knees, and it took us longer than we thought, but usually that's what happens when you start working with a limited amount of pieces for a complicated color palette, right? But that's fine. We'll work on doing more modifications, especially perhaps we might start with the feet. I know for sure we'll continue with the legs and perhaps some of the arms. I know there's a change I want to do with the arms because I found some pieces that might help us get a better shape there. And yeah, that's basically the plan for today. So that's it for the plan of the stream. But let's talk a bit about what's happening, like in a news segment. So first, today I decided to start building and making instructions again. I think the last one I made was last year, but I'll start with a model that was requested by the creator. Hey, don't worry about it. Thanks for joining. I do know that happens with Twitch. Hi, Cobalt. Because I once were my mobile data with Twitch as well, because you cannot set the quality of the stream on mobile. So if you're on mobile data, it will just go to the automatic setting or automatic speed that it has. So it will burn through your data. I know for sure. That happened to me before. So don't worry about it. I get it. So yeah. Back to the news. The first news was that I'm going to start working on Lego instructions to sell. That's in a way to fund the channel, right? And get better pieces, better equipment, lights, everything that I planned. I need funds, but I want to give or to make something that you get in order to be funded, right? So one of the things I want to do is instructions. So I'll start building instructions of older models that I have. Again, the first one that I actually have a year in the making, because I was requested to build this by the creator of the character it was based on. So that was the Shark Knife mech that I made. So Corey Lewis is an amazing comic artist, and once I made his Shark Knife inspired mech, he was crazy about it. So I did promise to make instructions for him, and actually I promised to sell him the model, but last year was chaos completely. So and I was out of my zone, so to speak. So I decided this week to start building or start making instructions of the build, and that will be up soon. I don't think it will be this week or next week, but I mean, I'm just going to start working on it, because instructions or how I make instructions do take time, because I just don't take the pictures of how I build it. I just have to find, if I'm going to include on each photo, right, the pieces that I'm going to add, and get the brick link of the piece, right? So that if you need to, or if you want to buy the piece because you don't have it, you can have access to the link of the page where you can get that piece. So it takes a while, because I have to track every piece that I use for every piece or every step of the build in order to add it. So I mean, my instructions do take that long. It's a PDF, but the PDF has the links. You can always print it after, but you'll lose this extra that I try to add to the instructions, right? But yeah, it's going to take a while, but I'll start with the photos, right? And that's going to be happening this week. Well, this and next week. But yes, that's it. and that's for the news as of right now. That's the plan, and building plan, this build, and like I said before, I think I have plans for 2 or 3 builds that we'll do after that. I think, and I hope I have the pieces. If not, I'll just take all their models apart, like I always do. But there are a few colors and pieces that I would like to get from newer sets in order to create something new. But for that, I'm gonna need to add funds to the channel. So that's why I'm starting to work on ways to be funded enough to get new pieces and to provide new content to you. So I do hope you enjoy it on the long run. For me, it's fun. Now let's go back to the build. Okay. Okay. So this is where we left off last time, right? We basically completed the knees, and we're starting to give shape to all the build as it is right now. So I did get some pieces in order to continue where we left off last week, and the first thing I want to do is let's take the legs apart. So we know we're going to work on those right now. So I use the gray panels for the top and the bottom, but I know for sure that I have black and whites, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the gray panels or the gray side panels with a black for the front and a white for the back. So this is the idea I want to make for both legs. And I know I have the pieces, I just have to find them. And usually when I'm on stream, it takes a while to find a piece, so I just leave that for a later date. And it does take a while to find a piece. I also have a bag of pieces that I kind of sorted, that I knew I might take or I might use some of the pieces. So I have that with me. I might hit that if I know there are some pieces that I know I will use, but I don't have with me. So do be patient. It's a Amazon bag piece that I just got, and that's the one I just. If I had a piece that I knew I wanted to save it, just threw it to the box, to the bag. I'm not the most organized person, you'll see, but I mean that's how it worked, and that's how I'm going to keep it for now. Okay, so back to this. So let's replace the gray panels at the side for black and white. Okay, so white at the back and black at the front. Okay, and this was made in a hurry last week, so we'll see if we're going to keep using it. And as for the music, sorry, as a side note, and the music that's playing right now, it's from Final Fantasy X. I still don't know exactly what's the name, because either I've seen it as People of the North Pole or Servants of the Mountain. It's the music that you hear right when you start walking at Gagaset Mountain. I find it one of the most relaxing musics in all of Final Fantasy. So this particular song is one of my favorites of all time. And I found a mix that has like raining music added to it, and it's for an hour long. I've used this to help me sleep many times. So it is a relaxing music I want to add to the background. I hope you enjoy it. I certainly do. Just a side note for that. Okay, so we added the black and white, and I just added a 2x1 brick, plate at the top, and a 2x1 black plate at the bottom. So the other thing is, let's change it up and add let me add the white, or change the white plate, so that I can use a black plate. There's an inconvenience that I didn't plan because I just trimmed my nails and I forgot to bring a Lego separator. So tonight might be painful. Let's just say it could be painful. I hope not, but from previous experiences, it might be a little bit painful, right? Okay, so we just duplicated how we made the upper legs. And now we're starting to see the colors that I want for the mech inside the correct build. This one I'm going to use because it's just the perfect piece that I need, the white 2x4 plate. And it's going to be added to the arm build. And basically, this one, 2 parts, we're going to build the brick build that's going to be checkered with the colors at the top, and that should be built. It shouldn't take us longer than a few minutes, so we'll do that later. Okay, so right now, the legs. What I didn't do last time, and I'm sure of that, is adding the white slopes, the 1x2 slopes to these clips. And that, again, this is just to replicate the same side, right? And we'll continue adding this is the 1x1 fang, that's just straight. And I like using this piece here because it creates a continuity with the leg, right? Because it just flows, adding this white piece here, it creates volume. It just doesn't, for example, if I don't have that, it will be just plain, right? You can see the gap between the knee and the leg. There's a gap here. And this piece, I think, has the best sloping or flow. So that's what we're going to use. Okay, so now, let's work on the feet. I said we might start working with the feet, and I think I have the way of doing that. So what I got here is basically a ball joint with this is not a pin, but it's a clip or the round I don't know what to call it, round pin, but the thicker one that goes with the hole, and just put it here and make 2 of those, and we'll use those as feet, and I'll show you how that can work real soon. So we have this to work on, and if you want to give, for example, the shape of, let me get that. So get 2 1x1 clips and a 2x2 hinges. So 2x1 hinges and 1x1 clips, and let's add them here, and I'll show you what we'll do with that in a few minutes. Okay. So basically, okay. So adding this at the bottom. You'll see that it's starting to have a shape that goes upward towards the piece. And the good thing about it is once we do that and attach to the mech in this standing position, even if it goes backwards and upwards, if we add like a standing or just turn around, depending on what we end up using, we can drop this down and help it stand. So basically it will stand on its own just by having this, but normally you can just hide it and give it another shape, or we can just build something around here that works as a stand. And this should allow the mech to stand by itself, even if the pieces are small, right? So that's a good news. And for the front part, we'll just use 1x1 front clip, and again the 2x1 hinge. And we'll add this to the shape. Right now, that's the fastest way I know of how we can work with that. So we're starting to see the shape of the leg or the feet as we want it. And if we attach it back to the mech, you'll see that size-wise, looks right? And if we stand it up, or if we work on standing it up, right now it should stand. It won't have the best balance, and especially since I didn't add the break of the knee to the build yet, it's going to still have issues, right? But I want to do a balance test and see if it's going to work. So it does stand. I noticed the issue of the blue leg doesn't have the brake yet, so the knee goes back real quick and real fast. We still could work on building this brake that we made to this leg on this leg, or we can just try and see if we can replace that ball joint at the top. For now, let's just keep it this way and do the brake, because I like the build that comes with the brake, so we can add gold into it. And that might be what we want for this. But yes, as you can see, this is the position the leg will have once you stand it up. So this part will act as a brake and as support for the entire neck. And you just can clip it up if you want to work on it while being on its back. Okay, with that, let's proceed with building the brake on this side of the leg as well. So like I said last week, we need 2x1 hinge with the connections at the middle, right? A black one. I think I didn't change this last week, but we'll just replace it here, right? By the way, if you want to ask me anything about what I'm doing, or if you want any sort of to help you clear that, just let me know. And even if you just want to ask me about the music, about games, just let me know. I do consider myself a gamer. I've been playing my whole life. I had an Atari. That was my first console. So even if I'm not showing me playing right now, I do know quite a bit about games. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. And let's continue with this. We need a clip. We need a 2x1 clip. Since we use a gray one on the other side, let's try to use a dark gray as well. So we can continue the color combination, right? And let's hit the back, because I know I saved on the back a golden hinge. Sorry, 2 golden pieces that we're going to need, because we use that on the other side. So basically the 2x1 like separated plate, and the 2x1 slope with the works like a bend. So let's use that, and let's build it the same way. So let's put it here. So let me check real quick something I just heard. It's an error on the screen. Real quick. Okay, so nothing worry about. Okay. And the music stopped. So I did mix something real quick. Okay, hopefully it's fixed. So back to the plate. So if we put now, last week I said we could use either the Ninja Star to add volume, or like the Nexo arm, correct? We could use either of them. And I actually have enough of both, so we can try both, right? So this is my arms collection. But I don't think I have the golden arms on here. I just have the arms in general. But I do have the golden pieces separated. And there are exceptions to the rule of the special pieces part, because for example, golden pieces, I use tons of them. So I know for sure most of the time golden pieces I have kept, or I have them in their separate box. So I just have to find the arms. I know for sure I have, and I should have more of them. But for some reason I think I might have another box of just the arms. That could be the reason. But I don't find it right now, which is weird. Okay. If I don't find it, I'll just use another color and we'll just replace them after and see if it just works. But I could swear I have more golden arms or golden pieces of this. Well, we can work with black ones, and if that's what we want, we can just replace them with golden once I find them. Because honestly, I don't know where they are. Let's check. So let's use, for now, this black arms here and put them on the clips, right? And this is how they would end up looking. They will add volume to the leg, and we just I mean, golden they look better, of course, but right now as black they don't look that bad, so they do work as a kind of break for this piece. And that is what we wanted, right? We want to make sure that the leg doesn't fall behind this. So it's working as intended right now. And let's replace this golden ninja blade on the other side and just put the single black piece. And again, we'll replace that with golden once I find the other golden parts. And for this side, I remember last week we worked on this. This is two by one dual clip and just 2x1 hinges, two of them. And just put them on the top, and for now, that's how we're going to keep that. We might not end up doing that at the end, but I think that's what we can use right now, and just do that and replicate that on the other side. And that's it. For the or the lower part, the upper part of the leg, I built this last week, which is a 4x2 plate with a 2x2 plate at the top and a 2x1 slope. And I just put it here, right under the leg. Let me just show you that with the leg separated. So basically, just put that piece here, correct? And you should have one 2x1 above the normal plate, and we can work on that right after. And we're starting to cover the connection, the joint. Let me find and see if I have one of those again, a 4x2 plate. I think I do on my little box of secrets. And if I don't, I'll just find it. Don't worry about it. Because for sure, I know black is the color that I have the most. I don't know if this is something that's Lego used to do, but for some reason, black is the most common color you'll find in Lego sets, as far as I know. Could compete with light gray, because the pieces I have the most are light gray, black, dark gray, and white. Those are the pieces that I have the most by far. The other ones do not compare to the amount of pieces I have. So yeah, that's something that it might be common knowledge, but hey, that's what I got from. So right now we're starting to see the shape that we wanted on the legs, and what we could do is, now let's see if I find 2x1 white plate. We add a 2x1 white plate here at the end of this pen clip that we have, another clip, the stud. So we have a 2x1 plate, clean plate. At the end of the stud, you start covering the leg and give it a bit more shape. Perhaps you can see it this way, right? It's a bit out of focus. Oh, okay. So this is how you'll see it. And I don't know if I have another one of those at hand. I don't think. I do have one of these. These are the newer plates. I do like them a bit better for some parts. So basically this is how they look, right? They have like a gold ingot shape or something. I've seen them in gold the most, but we can try with that and see if the shape works as well. So right now I do like this one more, but I don't remember if I have another one of this. I think I do, but I'll just have to check that out. Okay, so I know, I mean, I usually don't go like changing many things that different, but I know that I have pieces to work on changing this arm, and this is one change I wanted to make. The reason I want to make a change of this, I found two of this. So these are the ball joints with the pin, and this worked better than this because this one is just too loose here. So we'll make the change. We'll keep this piece, the brick with the side studs, but we'll just mount the ball joint and the pin right here, and you'll have a very stable connection here. You just have to work on filling the back. And we'll continue to use we'll change the brown pin clip that I have with a golden one. And with that, we just made the change of one of the arm, and right now it will not loose. It will just remain much tighter than the other build that we have. So that's good. And we can even add the gold, the plate at the front that corresponds with the drawing. So basically we're keeping the white at the back and the gold at the front, like in the drawing. So that's good. We can see that we can make that change, and we'll have that particular connection. And we'll just replicate that with the other side again. Just don't put it all the way. Just slip a little bit so it can turn around better. And we'll put the golden plate. I do have a few of this. It's a 2x1 plate, golden plate, like the one I showed you with white. Like I said, I've had them way more in gold than in other colors. That's why I said they look like gold ingots. So we proceed to add it to the other side, and now we're starting to add the shape of the arm that we want. Let's continue with the arm itself, and with that, let me just take the legs apart. No, let me just keep the legs as they are, but let me take out the arm so we can work on one at a time. Correct? So this is the arm as we have it. What can we do about it? So this particular gold clip that has low friction, I can find another one. Right now, I don't know where I can find, but I know I have a few of them. That's something I can work on another time. And we'll add this, or we could, let me just put a brown one for the moment, and we'll just go back to a golden one with a better friction after. So this has better friction. Okay. Let's continue building here the arm, and the arms are simple. So that's why I want to jump to them, because we can't get them done real quick. So put a 3x2 plate right in the middle using the whole studs with the pins at the bottom of the white plate, and just put it right in the middle. On the white 2x4, here we'll start adding the color gradient checkered pattern that we add. So let's start with dark blue at the top, and then go with dark pink, right? And we can add perhaps another dark blue and another dark pink. But we can go a bit playful here, and perhaps here use a lighter green, and here use the even lighter green. Sorry, lighter blue, and do the same for the other side. So let's just put the lighter pink and then the even lighter pink on the other side, and we end up with a gradient checker color box. And you can either put the dark colors at the bottom or the dark colors at the top. As far as I can see, I think I would like to put the dark colors at the top. And for the hand, I think we gave it a white connection. So for now, let's just put a 2x1 normal plate. And what else can we do about it right now? If I had another 2x1, no, it should be golden, right? So let's add another golden plate here. And let me add a 1x1 round pin at the back. So right now it's starting to look a lot like the arm we made, right? I think we used black on the fingers. I could find them in black. Right now I have them in just dark gray, but it's something I can find for the next occasion. But as it is, the lower arm I think could be done. We could just replace this and go with a single amount of colors and not gradient. For now, I think I want to keep it as it is. And if I don't end up liking it, I just go back to a single type of color, correct? So with that, let me start building the shoulder. So the shoulder should go with black, right? And with hints of golden at the bottom. How can we do that, right? Let me try real quick. So let's get this. These are normal side, how they call it? They are side plates. But we need this. Let me try it with this. This is a 2x1 plate with a side blade that starts at the bottom. And with this, what we could do is we can add another plate, a golden plate, here at the bottom, right? And we can start building with black here. So and if we can find a 2x2 black plate with a single stud, we can do the color adding to that. The thing is, I'm not sure how fast I can find that particular black piece. So bear with me a bit. While I search for the piece, how are you? Let me know on the comments. How has been your weekend? Because right now it's Saturday. I do find it, for me, it's one of the most relaxing days of the week. I do like it more than Sundays. I don't like Sundays as much. I actually find Sundays kind of boring. I find that I do most things on Saturdays instead of Sundays. But that's just me, okay? So it could be different for each person. So yes, I have to find, and this could be a good idea. So let me just get this, because we might get a better round, pronounced shape with this. These are like 2x2s in size, but they are discs that have a stud that goes on the top, but they're not like normal plates that are just straight. This one has oh, so it's Sunday for you. Yeah. So I do hope then that I'm making your Sunday better, if you don't like Sundays, or just making entertaining. And thanks for joining. So now we need to find that, but I do have tons of black pieces. It's just a matter of finding the correct piece, which, depending on the collection that you have, could go from a small search, and then, or you can just end up losing even hours sometimes. Because if you have a big collection of pieces and you only have one piece that you know that you have one, but you don't know where you have it, it could take you quite a long time to find. So yes, it might take a while. I hope it doesn't. But I mean, at least we're relaxing here. We have nice music. We're just sharing a weekend afternoon / morning. And sometimes you have to take those times for what they are, like they are relaxing time. I was one of the people that didn't find time to relax, especially depending on the type of work we have. But having something or giving yourself time to relax is important. Like, I know it's the easiest thing, and everyone tells you to do that, but sometimes finding that time is the most complicated thing in the world. And I do hope that you're giving yourself time to do that. I did find time for myself, and I'm basically sharing that time with you because this is one of the things I found out that relaxes me the most. But it does have its non-great parts, like, finding a specific piece is a process that it's not that I hate, but I don't necessarily like finding a piece. Especially, again, depending on your piece collection, there's a process that might be way longer than that you would like to. Yes, taking a break is something that we often take for granted. And another thing that I found out that is really important, it's not necessarily resting or relaxing, it's sleeping. And it sounds easy, but sometimes finding time to sleep or giving yourself time to sleep is the worst offense or the worst you can do for your own body, because we often don't give ourselves time to do that. And one of the things that can impact on your health severely is the amount of sleep you have. And it's not like just sleeping a single day. You have to give yourself time to correctly sleep constantly. And the complicated about this advice is that not everyone has an easy time sleeping. For example, I know I have family members that sleeping for them is the worst because they just can't, and that's the worst for them. And it's not like it's easy for me, but honestly, if I want to sleep, all I have to do is just lay in bed for a while and rest, and that take care of that. But again, depending on the amount of stress, it can become easier or difficult. I do find it difficult sometimes, but most of the times it's an easy task for me. So in that regards, I'm lucky, or I consider myself lucky. So what I'm doing here, you can see that I'm taking some pieces out, even if they're not exactly the ones we want. But you'll see that sometimes the pieces that you find are the pieces that those are the ones you have to work on. So if those are the pieces you have, you start working on them, and perhaps just go back once you find the piece that you need, you'll go back to the build and just replace them with the correct piece that you need for that build. And as far as I know now, I didn't find the pieces that I know I have, which is the most stressing part of this, that I know I do have those pieces. But if I don't find them, I'll just go back to some of the pieces that I've taken here. Hi, Trevor, again, my wife. And if I don't find enough of the correct pieces, again, I'll just go back to see the piece that I found and which ones are going to be useful for this. And I didn't find them. No, I didn't find even one of them, but I know I have them. I might have them easier to find white, but I think I've lost enough time trying to find for that piece. And I'll show you real quick what some of the workarounds that we can use for that. Don't be sad. I mean, I do talk to you the most out of everyone in the planet. I know that for sure. That out of everyone on the planet, my wife is the person I speak the most. And way more regularly than I would talk to anyone. And the trick is, I like it. I like speaking to her. The problem is, usually, I speak tons about subjects that are interesting to me and only me, which is something that has happened with my entire family, because I like reading about how stuff works in general. It doesn't have to be something that I like. It's just something that it's just interesting to me, and I'll read about that, and I'll just start speaking about it, even if people are not really interested about that subject. So I do end up speaking a lot. Like, a lot. And about perhaps topics that are, again, people might not be super interesting about them, but I know for some reason I do end up having a lot of knowledge about it. Okay, so I didn't find the black pieces. So what I could do is, I found this, right? So I found these plates in 2x1, the round plates, in pink and in blue. And of the pieces that I showed you before, the black pieces, we can end up using this. And we'll be adding some color to this, and it does look good. So we could work with this. We would just have to add something at the top, and for that we could use these two black plates. But one of the things I noticed is we're using too much gray on these side plates, and if we can replace them with black, it would look even better. So let's try doing that. And for that, it's going to take me perhaps another while to find the pieces, correct? But I know it's something that's going to pay off in the long run, especially on this build. So I need to find enough for both arms, correct? So that would mean 4 of these 2x2 plates with side plates, and we're going to need 5, because I already used 1, of the 2x2 plates that start at the bottom. Okay? And I do know that I have quite a lot of those pieces, but I just find them. Sometimes it's probably going to take me a bit of time to do. Now the most fun, because you're going to have keep hearing me rambling about random stuff. I do hope you enjoy the conversation, the random conversation that I made. It's random at best, but I do hope that at least you find some of it interesting. And on the gaming side of the news of life, I'm gonna start playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS4. It's a game that, due to me being busy or not paying attention to gaming per se, I didn't get. And it just happens to be free on the PS Plus this month. So there's no better reason to start playing. Hey, don't worry about it. I hope your cat is just fine after that. I know for dogs, it's just a simple procedure because I've never had cats. But I do hope that your cat gets better quick. And I hope it becomes a quick operation. Okay, so I did find one. I'm going to need 4 more, but I'm not sure I can find 4 more. And I do know I had them, but again, it's just finding them among the massive pieces that I have, which could take longer. So how about this? Let's continue with the pieces that I have and the color that I have, and I'll find them for next week. So that should be a good compromise. Okay, so for now, let's just replace the black parts that are going to be at the front for now. So that way we have an idea of how they will look or end up looking once we find the entire piece or pieces in black, right? So this is how it would look once we have all of this in black. If we don't like how this looks, we could use perhaps round plates. These pieces give a different volume in general, and this could work in a different way. So let me put this here, and let's see how it looks. It's starting to look a bit like the design, or I hope so, but I do think it's starting to look that way. I also found this 2x2 inverted round plates that I tend to like putting here right in the middle of the plates that are on the inside of the leg. I hope you can see that. But if you cannot see that, perhaps you can see it better on this cam. Right? So this plate here, I like putting that so it can create a small surface, round surface at the inside of the leg. And with that, let's replicate the same on the other arm. I know we have the pieces, or some of the pieces, so that should be a quick process. So basically, replace the side front and put the 2x2 plate with the side plate started at the bottom, and put that right at the front. Put the 2x2 round plate with a single pin in pink. And I know I have another blue one somewhere. Okay, but I did find this piece that I'm going to use. So, okay, so the box is stuck. It's one of the main problems of using this. This type of boxes as case holders. But give me a second and I'll get it out. Okay, gonna get the mess that I made fixed a little bit. So I have to find the 2x1 plate in blue. I know I have, but I do have to find it. It's a round plate with a single pin. And back to the slipping topic. Yesterday was one of the few days where I finally was able to get some deep sleep. My dog was sick last week, and as you can imagine, that didn't allow me to sleep very well during the entire week. So I was finally able to get some sort of rest, not much, but some, during the week. But yesterday, finally, I was able to get a real sleep, right? Which is always good. And again, many times we take for granted, and I didn't find the piece. That sucks. Well, I do have it in gray, just to exemplify what we can do about it. And we just put it here. The other thing that we could try, and could work very well, is that I found this 2x2 joint heads in black that I have. And let me try just going here and putting them at the side. And they could end up giving a look that works a bit better. And what we could do is just keep the one side blue and the other side pink. This way. And it could end up, it's too bulky for my taste, so I don't think it's going to work. Okay, but I tried, and at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. If it didn't work, that's fine. That's the beauty of having pieces that you can detach and attach again. Seeing if things work as they should is part of the progress of this. And it's going to take a lot of trial and error, trust me. Learning to do this has always been trial and error with pieces and shapes, and hopefully we could end up with something that you like as an end result. So right now, it's kind of the shoulders are looking correct, a bit correct. And last time I didn't put the cover at the back, which is again a 2x2 a slope that has the pins at the top. And as it is right now, it's starting to look a bit like the design. And if we put this at the top part of the plate, we're starting to get a sense of what we want out of the design. And let me just start working on the cod piece, because it's something that usually we could end up working easily into the design at this step. So go with a 2x1 plate with a side 2x2 plate that starts at the top, and put it here, right? So put it at the top, and we're going to complement that with another 2x2 side plate that starts at the bottom. But we might need to add here at the bottom where we haven't. Let me show you. Let me take out the leg and show you that better. So at the top you have the axle blocks, and at the bottom you have the connection, the backbone. And we have a single 2x2 plate at the bottom, and if we go with another single plate here, a 2x1 plate, we can just attach this and we'll be able to lock down this entire part. For example, if we just go with a single 2x2 block in the middle, this part, you cannot take it apart that easily. So this will be attached, and this with the bottom, and you cannot take that apart easily. So we're basically locking it. And that should give us a better look of what we want. But if we go a step further, let me see on my bag of pieces, my famous bag of pieces. If we continue to add using a bag of pieces in the future, I might just add like a clip, an animation that once I have to result going to bag of pieces, I'll just put the animation going there. Hopefully you find it fun. So let's check this out real quick. And let me get a piece that I know I'm going to find useful. And that's going to match great with this piece, this white piece. Okay? But I just have to find it. Again, like many of the pieces, the challenge is finding the piece that you want. And again, I did plan for some of the pieces I was going to use on the stream, but I did not plan them all because, again, I just had some ideas of what I was going to do on the stream, but most of the ideas you end up using actually come from building. So you have to start building to know exactly what type of pieces you're going to make. And that's the biggest problem of this. Is you cannot plan exactly which pieces you're going to need, which is a bummer. If I was building or rebuilding a model that I already have, we could do that easily. We just have to find the pieces that I used in the past, and that would work, and I could start building with that from there. Which in the future there could be a quicker stream of an older build. If I had instructions, I could just go back and start building from the instructions I had before. But usually for that you would have the instructions, so you could do that on your own. So I don't know if that would be good for you. Let me just change the music playlist real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's go back to this a little bit quick, just to the Nier Automata soundtrack, which is a staple, my go-to on many occasions for music background. Because music in general, something that I really like listening. It's the Nier Automata soundtrack. It's brilliant. It is truly amazing soundtrack. And for this, all I have to do is find a single piece that I know I have tons of, because I know it's one of the most common pieces that I have. And actually someone recently, but I don't know where I use it, where I have it, which is the weird part, because I know I had it. And I think I saw it on an older build, which I just moved, and that could be the reason why I have it like right in my head that I had it. So if I don't find it in the next minute or so, I'll just move back and work on something else. But I know for sure I have that. I think I'll just have to give up on it. And yes, I think I'll have to give up on it. But I know I have it in pink. So what I'll do is I'll use that in pink in the meantime, and then I'll replace it with a black one once I find it. Okay? So this is the piece that I wanted to use. So let's put a single 2x1 plate with a clip, with a hinge at the end, right here below this. You'll see that it looks, let me take out the leg again so you can see it. It's attached here, it clashes with this, so it gives some sort of filling to this. And we can add something later, like clips here at the bottom, to add volume to it. And what I wanted to add was the black piece, this in black, that works as the black that's on the drawing. And hopefully we can get a better look at that. And for this, I want to add 2x1 plates with a single pin at the start and at the bottom. Why that in particular? Because as you saw in the drawing, it has a black line in the middle and a white side on white sides, correct? So the best way to do that is, again, with that white pin, and then we put a single slope that starts and a curved slope in the middle. So, and we have to fill this later, perhaps using using perhaps the curve 2x1 with a single pin in the middle, and this way you could have some sort of look similar to that. We can work on a different one at the end, but as right now it's starting to look correct or better. I'm sad that I didn't find this in black. I know I have it in black, but you know what? Sometimes you just have to give up on pieces if they don't appear. And I'm saying that while I still search for the piece in my collection, in a small box, which is a bit sad. But don't worry about it. I'll find that piece. I know I have it. Eventually, someday, I'll find it. So we're starting to give or have a better shape that represents the mech that we want. So all we have to do is just replicate the arm and build the other side. And take this side, this 4x2 plate, and put the color slopes, cheese slopes, right? Again, I'm starting with darker shades of the same color and go back to lighter shades of that color. And I think I miscounted one of the pink slopes. A single 1x1 two slope in pink. That's all I need for that. Let me just find it because I'm missing one here, just one. And again, I cannot find it right now. Okay, don't worry about it. We'll still, again, it's one of the homeworks to find for next week, right? So let's just put it here. And it's starting to we're starting to get the shape, or the at least the color coding is starting to look that way. Again, I want to make this black. Did not find the piece, but I'll find. What I'm seeing right now is something that could end up, we could fix in a small way, because you can see it has a bit more black on the drawing that it has right now. So let's change this white plate for a black plate, for a 2 by 2 side plate in black, this way. And if we do that, and let me try adding a single 2 by 2 black shade. I think I saw one. I'll just keep it white for now, but again, I know what to search for. This is good. This way, if we change this plate later on to a black plate, it's going to look even better. And especially if we put this one black too, we'll start to get even a better look. So we're starting to get that to look correctly. Let me now go start building the base of the head. The base of the head, what I usually do for a base of a head is a pretty simple build. Okay, so we have a brick, a 1 by 1 brick with pins on all sides. Then you put a clip, a single clip at the top, and then you use a 1 by 1 hinge. It's going to connect real quick here. And for the mouth part, I just use a single plate, a 1 by 1 plate. Right now I'm going to use white, but it should be black. Or let me just try this. Let me try adding this pin, the one that has like a fang. Let me add it at the bottom. And for now, you connect it to the clip at the top, and then you'll see that it's starting to look like a chin that's going to work for the mech. And what we'll do right now after that is we could add a golden, let me see if I have a golden fan. Like this piece, but in golden. Could be like the front of the head. Okay? Let me just find one. If I don't find one, I know I have one here that could end up replacing for a white one and just taking that gold. So now, again, like many of the things, we could end up working with a single color, and I'll find the color replacement for next week, and we can just find that and replace that real quick. Okay. So, and to make it quick, let's just take that piece in golden and replace it with a white one here. And to see if you wanted to add it here at the top, you're going to need a single 1 by 1 brick or plate. Could be any color. Right now I have the gold box next to me, so I'll just use a gold single 1 by 1 stub. Here, this way, you add it to the bottom, and then you proceed to add it here. So it's starting to look like the golden plate head that's going to be working for it at the top. And here it's going to be, we're starting to get interesting. So what do we continue building, right? We could continue with the head. We could continue with the legs, or we could continue. Well, the arms going to continue. We continue with the chest, right? For the head, what we want to build is like a side plate build for each side. That's going to start in gold, then go white, and then to the color, the pink or the blue, depending on which color you want to keep using, right? So there are many ways we could do that. The best way, or let me try 2 ways that I know how to do that, and we'll continue from that. Okay, so first, to go to the next step, we'll need another, we're going to need this piece. I showed you that last week, which is a brick that has connections only on 2 sides, the 2 sides next to each other, and the other ones are plain, right? If we use that piece here at the top, then we could build around that and put a clip. Let's use a brown clip here just to exemplify the case. Let me just take out the head so we can work on and show you the head itself. So if we do this, we could end up with a plate. But the problem I see of using this 2-side only is that the front itself is going to look a bit plain. So how about we change that and go for a complete whole side of brick? Let me just find another 4-sided brick. Okay, I have a gray one. Use any color because basically we're going to be covering it entirely. So again, an old-sided brick. Just put it at the top. And if we continue doing that, and then we cover it with 2 golden plates. This way, you'll end up with something very similar to that. The only problem I see with this, because I always try to find solutions to all the problems with this, is that there's still a gap here between this and this, where you'll see the separation. So I'm not entirely happy with this. It doesn't look entirely bad, but it's not just, I'm not super happy with it. And if you are going to ask me what are you going to do to cover the side of the face, that's actually pretty simple. You just do this. Do I have a single slope? I don't think I have one. Okay, or just do a 3. This. Just a 3x1 plate here. And if you do this, you're going to start covering, or you can have pins to work on covering this entire side. And that could work, right? Hi, Sato. So with this, we can start working on figuring out how to perhaps give the shape we want. And we could work on, yes, so there's progress. From where we started last week to this week, we have actually started progressing a lot. Not many of the pieces are in the correct colors, but it's something that right now we're just figuring it out. After out of the stream, I'll just start searching for the correct color of the piece, which is a process that takes more time than I'm comfortable using in the stream. So, okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to shape the head, right? And we're getting like a correct shape indication here. At least at the front, it's starting to look good. It looks, and the profile is starting to look good as well. So it might just be about building. Let me put a 2x1 brick here and see how it goes. And see how that is starting to give a shape. I'm just testing pieces here, okay? So let me try with a 2x1 side plate, and let me try putting it here. Okay, I'm trying to find a way to fill this gap in a comfortable way. And we might not end up using this, we could end up using a different piece altogether. But what we want to achieve, for sure, is a way to get the entire shape without compromising too much. So let me get just another 2 of this. Or we could use the 2 by this ones, which have hinges at both ends. They could end up being the solution for that. Right? But as far as I'm concerned, the main problem right now is getting the correct shape. And let me just put a single pin here and start testing here. So, if I put it here, it's starting to look a bit like that, right? But I want to have, could use this, and it has some of the shape, right? This is the part that's a bit interesting in the fact that you're going to start testing a lot of connections and see which one works better. For example, I have this. This is kind of a shield that has clips at the end. And if I perhaps do it longer here, the clip, I'll put it longer. Let me try with the next simple extension, right? So let me put this, and then put the clip. If I put this and I do this, then I basically have this, which you can lower here the connection, and then perhaps we have what we need look-wise, right? Let me just set it at the correct height for it to cover here, this. And let me put a 3 by, well, it's a 3 long in a corner shape plate. You can put it at the top, and that will cover that. So it's not like, I don't have this piece in golden, so I know for sure if I want to use it, I'll just end up with that part in white. But the end of this might end up looking funny, which is what I'm testing, right? So the other thing I could test is perhaps using slope at the side of the head. Okay, so I just put a slope, 3 by 1 slope with a 2 height. Just put a single pin, or a single plate, 1 by 1 plate, like this. Here, and for example, at the front, looks kind of okay, but it has some holes, like this. You see that it has a hole there I can fill. That's something to note. You can use that, but you're going to have to fill it differently. And I think I could use this is a side 1 by 1 clip. Let me just stop apparently. Let me just get back to music, or put the music on again. Okay, so the music is on. Okay, so like I said, if we use here on this bar the clip, the 1x1 clip here. If we use, let's use inverted. If you use inverted, you can see it fills the space here. Again, the colors are not important right now. I'm just trying to shape. So as long as the shape works, we can replace the color with the correct ones after that. The important thing is now the hole is filled. And if we use that as black, that would work correct. So that could work. That could definitely work. And just for test purposes, let me try to replicate that on the other side of the head. If it works, we'll be able to definitely add a bit of shape. That's the one that we want with the head, right? Let's use another one of those shell pieces. Yeah, with a bit of separation at the top. And let me see if I have black clips. There are side clips, like this one. Let me find another one in black, just so I can see that it looks correctly. And if that completes the look, we might have fixed one of the shaping issues of the head. Or at least we have a first prototype of the head, which sometimes it takes you quite a lot of tries, right? So put the clip on the outside and put it here below that, and it's starting to look better. Now, for the other side, we'll try a different build, a little bit of a different build. So use this slope, the 4x1, and put a single 2x1 plate at the end. And let's use that as a side, right? It's a much longer piece, but it looks a bit better because it's not as wide. And one of the advantages of using that is that we could perhaps not use that entire 4x1 plate. We take it out. Instead of using the 4x1, we use a single 2x1 half slope in this color in black. We could end up using a 2x1 slope of a different color, like pink, here at the end. And with that, you could end up with this. It's a build that has one color here and one color at the end. So it could end up working in a different way, or you could just put it here and it goes to the top. And we can start working on the covering of the top. And this could be the start of the shaping of the head. Let me just try putting it on the build and see how it looks. So it's starting to look a bit more like we want it to, right? And that's good. That's a good way to start. Now, let's work on something that I've been neglecting for a bit, which is I want to start on the neck covering, right? What can we do about that neck covering? That's interesting and could be potentially real fun, right? So let me try and see. If we do add this, could work as a neck covering. So let's try and see. I just want to see how it would look. So if I go find, these are clips. These are, and I want a bar. Okay, perfect. If I find a 2x1 bar with a 2x1 clip, white clip, it could work as a starting cover for the neck, right? And if we use the piece that we had before, the 2x1 dual clip here, this gives us the chance to actually start building a neck cover, like so. This clip is 2 threads. Okay, this works much better. Okay. So basically, you could use this as a neck cover, and we can work with this in a different amount of ways to cover it in a different way. Like, let me explain. For example, if we put 2 white sheet slopes here, we'll end up with a sort of coverage that could work. Again, most of this is just temporary, and we may not end up using it all. But I want to see how it looks, because that's the base of some of my designs, just trial and error. But I do want to see how it would end up looking. So as far as I know, I have to build a cover here. It's going to be pink, and that's going to be blue. So this might end up being too thick for that. Let's just take that apart, and perhaps start building this, so we know which is the amount of space that we want to have available to work on. That's probably what we should start doing. And for that, let me start with let me try with this. This to start. So one brick that has a single side, but it has the hole at the back, right? I'm gonna try with that here. A design shoulder mount. You see it? If you put it there, it will look bigger, but you have 3 studs at the top to work on, and that could be what we need. Let me try putting a single 3x1 at the top, just to ensure everything's going to remain in place. And I think I have another one here. Okay. So another 3x1 on the other side. And let me see what I can try with this. Okay, so again, I'm just experimenting here. So another one of those for each side. Let me just put it at the front, looking down. So with this, we can start working and perhaps doing a cover up, or starting to cover things up, like so. And we have this, these are the half pyramid shapes. You could have this work as a sort of cover while you build, or you start building below that. Let me show you real quick what I mean by that. Again, I'm using different colors, but ideally you should, if you have the pieces and the colors you want, you can just start working with that. But as I'm streaming, I'm just finding the pieces that I have in whichever color I have. So let's try using this. So the brick with a single pin on one side without having the hole at the back. Let's try finding another one of those. Whichever color I have. I think I have it in dark gray too. Okay. So put this here at the bottom with the pin at the side, then we have a sort of a build that could work here. And what I'm curious is, let's see if that works with this two-sided pin part. I've never tested this exact length. So if you leave this here and put this part with one look at the front and one looking at the side, if it holds the pyramid, the distance is a bit off. It doesn't close completely, so it's not going to work. Yeah, it's not the correct one. Yeah, that's why you have to try. Sometimes it works and you have a super strong grip. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. So that's fine. So let's try this. And let's try with pink at the side. So let me find a single slope in pink. Which I know I have, but again, it's a matter of finding it first. Which sometimes is the worst time to do that. But hey, sometimes you have to work with, again, the piece that you have. And I know I have it in soft pink, but I don't think that's the pink I want to use at the top. But I could end up using it at the front and perhaps going with a darker one at the top. So just put this slope here. And let's see, and let me try something real quick. Let me see if the length allows for a fun combination. Perhaps you can just take this out entirely. So what I'm trying to fill is this side, and I'm trying to see if I can find some quirky combination of them. For example, I know this could work. And how's that? Just put a single 2x1 plate, and let's see if it attaches this way. So you could end up working with something like this. Let's just test it next to the arm and see if it doesn't create problems with it. But it does. It creates issue with the ball joint. So that is a no-go for that. But it doesn't mean that it's a dead end, because what could end up working there is if we find a corner like this one, a black corner, we know for sure that if we go down like this, it would work, right? But the thing is, we need to clear this space. So how about if we go this way? And instead of using a single slope, you go with a 2x1 slope. Then you end up with a solid connection, and you end up covering tons of that in the front. Let's see and hope that it doesn't create any conflict with the ball joint, which doesn't look like that. But let me just replace the clip, because this clip is too flimsy. And it doesn't attach as hard as it should, or as hard as I know it should. So I just have to, well, give me 1 second, I'll find a stronger clip for that. Just 1 second. Okay. This is a stronger 1x1 clip. We touch it here at the back. Then we're starting to see a better shoulder cover. And we could not end up using the pyramid slope. We could just end up using any sort of cover, like a plate or a brick or anything like that. Or even a single of this color this way, and we can just add slopes at the top that work in different colors. That could work as well. But for now, let's just keep it this way. Right? And for the bottom, this pin here, we could have some fun with that. Just find a black slope, a 1x1 sheet slope here, and we could just try and see if it covers. It doesn't, but I know for sure a square corner could work perfectly there. I have this in black. I'll just search for one in black, but what it does is, as you can see, it works completely. It covers it perfectly. So you end up with a sort of cover for the shoulder that you have with a really good room to work on. So that's perfect. Let me just do something real quick, so I can secure the back end, because some clips are starting to come by. As you can see, there's nothing holding them. Just put a 1x4 here in this part, and it's going to be secure. You're not going to be taking this out. So with this cover, shoulder cover, we're starting to see how it's going to look, right? I'm not 100% sold on the head shape. You could work on changing that. Again, these are works in progress. But it doesn't have a bad shape, that's for sure. So I'm not sold on either. Or another thing we could try with because I like the head, let me take it out. We could just end up working on the other side of the shoulder cover, replicating that real quick, or at least replicating some of it, because I don't have all the pieces. I will have to search for another corner. Oh, I did find one, but that was lucky. So I have to do this again, putting this here, right? Then I have to find a 2x1 slope, 2x2 slope, black slope, like this. Again, put it on the cover, it should hold, and so it should attach. So that makes a good cover for now. And if I go a first step further and just add a single 2x1 slope at the back here, you create a cover around the joint, right? But it's even from the top. The only problem with this is the arm will not go beyond this point. So you cannot do this entire articulation. So we might have to change that in the future. We might. It does sort of come up in a bit, but not that much. But it's the same as it was the other side. So we might end up changing this design, but as of right now, it's not the worst. At least it gives us the shape that we want. And just find a single 2x1 to put here. And let me try something real quick. Adding a 2x1 of the color here. So it's starting to get a bit of shape. And if we do also could add a bit of cover here. Let's work on the upper side of the chest, right here where the neck is. And what we could do for that, and I know that would work, is let me find a 2x1 plate, or if it's like me in your pieces, perhaps you might have single studs to spare, like tons of them. So let me try that. Okay, so find a 2x1 block with the pins just at the top, and let's put single pins at the end, or a single 2x1 plate, and put it here in this clip. you'll end up with this. Basically, you fill this, and you have a little bit of coverage right at the top of the neck, which you could use perhaps a single 2x1 slope to start covering the neck with that. And let me see if I find one, because I wanted it white. Oh, thank you, Thanks Potion, for following. Trank Potion. Thanks for following. Welcome to the channel. Let's see what we can discuss about building a Lego mech. This is right now what we have. If you want to check the progress up to here, remember you can check the VOD on the Twitch channel, or you can check that on YouTube, my YouTube, which is the same. It's Pixel Me Crazy. You search for it, and you'll see the VODs, or again on the Twitch channel, and you'll see how we went from the this drawing, because we did this on the stream, to where we are right now. And if you keep joining, we'll see how it ended and have the entire build completed on stream. So thanks for joining, and thanks for the follow. Okay, now let me keep searching for the 2x1 slope. The 2x1 slope, what it will do is give us a sort of cover for the neck, while still allowing it to move in a simpler way, right? We can also end up trying different pieces. For example, I saw 2 pieces that I want to try. They're going to be interesting. I'll show you real quick, but I have to find the other part for it to work as well, right? The basis of this is we need to create the neck coverage that's on the drawing. But the point of making it is we still need to be sure that the neck still moves. It could move in a limited manner. That could work as well. But let's try to have it protected while still being able to move. Okay, so this is the pieces I want to try. These are. I didn't find the slope right now. I know I have somewhere, but we'll find different pieces and try and see. So let's take out this real quick. We'll keep it as a side project. But these are like building nukes or building decors in a single 1x2 bricks, right? This one. Let me try put them on the neck and see how they look. They could look good like this, right? Like this. So let me try and see how that looks. It's not the worst. It doesn't look that bad, and it allows you to put 2 different things here at the top. And something like that could end up working, right? So, and for example, I put this here, then we end up with some sort of chest coverage, right? Again, none of this is final. We can end up changing this drastically. For example, I think it's too high of a net coverage. So we might end up with a total different thing. This is the worst. Like I said, at the start of the stream, I just clipped my nails. And I forgot my brick separator, so I'm at the mercy of the brick gods here. I hope I don't injure my under nail skin, which is the most effective. But for now, I just resorted back to my bag of pieces, a random bag of pieces that I have. And I did find something that might help me try my theory. And might not be a bad choice of piece because, okay, so these two clips, we attach a single 2x1 with a single clip at the top. Let's add this single cheese loaf. Let's see how that works. So it does cover the neck in a good manner. And let's try it with the head and see how that looks. So it does look kind of cool. So we're starting to see the shape, the correct shape of the mech. It's starting to look okay, not bad, which is good. I'm still not convinced about this side panels, which I'm good with the body for now, except for a few things I could work on. For example, here, the half pyramids we could perhaps put here as a stopping point here. And if we add some sort of slope here below, oh, sorry, the leg. If I put in a shorter piece here, like a 2, it could end up looking good in a better way. So let me try that. It doesn't look bad. The thing is, there's still a small hole here to fill. I can figure that out. It's not that complicated, we can figure something out. But by doing so, let me just replicate that here. And this leg, but I do need a 2x2 plate. Let me find that real quick. I think I saw this one here. Yes, one. 2x2 plate. And back to a single pyramid, half pyramid build. And 2x1 slope, black slope. Here. That goes below here. 2x1 slope, half pyramid, and then here. Okay? And this is starting to have a better shape, similar to the one that we made on the drawing. What we could do to continue this is, there are many things we can continue the legs on. But here, what we could do to add cover to that, two ideas come to mind, like right off the bat. So either we get 2 cheese slopes or a single one, and just get, I think this is going to work better, but let me try it. So get 4 of these cheese slopes in black, because we're going to use 2 for each leg. Just put 2 at the top, facing each other this way. The only problem with this is that you can still see the top of the joint, which is why I wanted to try with a different 2x1. Could end up being the correct choice. Like here, I have another one. We put it here, 2x1. And then we have an entire cover for the leg. Or we can just go with a single slope. Single 2x1 slope. That should end up filling that space quickly, in a good manner, so to speak. But again, we're just testing shapes. This is and this is actually a step I reserved to the end of the build, but I got an idea that I wanted to try. And sometimes you have to do that when the idea comes by, because if not, you don't know exactly what you're missing, and you could end up missing something that's the solution for the problem you have. So don't be rigid on the building process. If you have to skip steps, so to speak, do so. After all, you're building for yourself, so that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so on the other side, let's try adding a 2x1 slope, right? It does look leaner in a way. It has a better flow. I like more the flow of this leg than this leg. But I could keep them as they are and perhaps see which one passes the test of time, regards to that build, right? Let me just put this at the bottom here. This is a small golden detail. I didn't know for sure I wanted to do that. I'm thinking, how does it look? How does it look? Does it look good? Good enough? Let me try replacing this black for a pink here. Just start to see the color differences. What I don't like is the color grading here. That might change just for a single type of color, and add just that. That I'm pretty sure it's going to change, right? And the side covering here is going to be simple. Probably a single 4x2 plate here. That way it's a simple cover, doesn't add that much of a volume. We could put anything here, any 2x2 plate, and add a single 4x2 plate cover. And this allows the arm to rest here perfectly. So we could do that on the other side. You just have to find another 4x2 black plate, which I do have one here. Yeah, just put a 2x2 at the bottom, and here, and then just put it here. So, right? It's starting to get a shape similar to the one on the drawing, which is what we wanted. At least what I want. I'm trying to replicate the drawing as much as I can. I know I'm not going to be able to get that 100% because some shapes you just know that you cannot get with Lego pieces, or at least with curved Lego pieces. But as close as I can get, that's a win. I have to find another golden plate here for this part. I'll do that later. But as far as I know, we could. I think it still falls a bit too much to the side. Might end up changing the knees articulation entirely, but for now, I kicked the camera. For now, it's not looking bad, right? This one I have to change for the black piece, I know for sure. And I know how to replace this, or just secure it. Can end up using a single 2x1 inverted slope. You just put it here on both pins, and you secure this at the bottom. So that's done. I have to fill the plates here in the back, finish the gold decorations here and the lower armors as well. Just noticing what needs to be done. I'm thinking. Let's go back to the head a little bit. I think this is the last we're going to do for today. But I just want to make sure that the head has a correct proportion. So I'll try that real quick. Again, single 2x1 with a single 2x1 slope. Put it here. It's going to work as the side of the cheeks of the head, like this part. Just need a 2x1 slope in blue. So I can add this here to the top. We could put another 2x1 plate here. I'm just adding volume at this point. Nothing super important, but just to try. And we could try. This could be interesting. I try. Okay, this is a golden 2x1. The single slope at the top. And what I could do is I try to add a plate here. So the volume is filled and it still looks good with the main combination of the gold, blue, pink, and black. And it doesn't look bad. What doesn't convince me yet is this. And this is what I'm trying to figure out what to do. Could do, let's try something real quick. For example, if I do this and put the pin on like this keyboard, I could get the shape I want. But I'm thinking which is the better approach for this. Because if I do this way, I'm sure that if I put a pin, let me get one pin. Okay, so let me get a pin. I'm testing shapes. Nothing is final here. I still need to work on tons of things. But what I'm trying to see if it works is ways where I can make the shape correct, or at least better in my head. So again, this, like, I don't know how to call this piece, but this piece with a single pin at the bottom and the ski at the top, added to the pin. Now I think you're going to need something longer like this, like the one we have. So this works this way. So now we have a shape that's interesting. But how would that work with the end pin? So if we had a clip here, and again I'm just testing here. We could try a dangle here, a golden dangle again. And remove this a bit more. It's going to be a bit flexible like this. So let me try it on the attached. So there are things I like, there are things I don't like. For example, it's not bulky enough. If I do it the opposite, then I'm facing a problem where I will have to remove it further than that. It's just barely attached to the pin. But the shape is better. But the problem is that I don't see how I can fill that with pink. So I'm not convinced with that. While if I do this, the way this side is, I see many ways where I can fill that. For example, let me try one with blue. like this. So it could work. And for the front, I could end up going for something like this. No, this is too thick. How about if I go with a single? So it could work in theory, but I think it's too thick. Honestly, I find it too thick. What do you think? What do you think? I do find it too thick. But I guess we'll check that next week. Because I think I'm stuck. I'll have to think a bit more about how we approach this design, especially the head. And I think that's where we cut it off this week. Yes, we did advance a lot, in my opinion, because we basically worked a ton on the body, a ton of the head, and the feet, the arms. There are things we have to change for next week, and I have some homework to do about finding some pieces, and in particular some pieces in colors that I want. But it's not looking bad. It's starting to look a bit like the design. It's not perfect. I know it's not perfect. It still has lots that we can work with. And I almost threw a box of pieces, but I didn't quite. I just stumbled a bit. I'm still thinking about what needs to be done. For example, I can change this entire piece for something like this. Could work perhaps a bit thicker at the end. For example, if you add a single 2x2 and then this, it's just a shield piece. Could work as the sort of chest cover, right? Right? And we could even make the 2x1, sorry, the 2x2 piece of black, so that it looks a bit more like the drawing, which has black below the armor, the white plate. A bit like this. Could be. Together with this in black, could work. And for example, if I put a black half slope here at the bottom, and I could add the color ones at the top, it's gonna have a bit of shape. Honestly, it's starting to look better. But I'm still debating about the head. I like some things of this side, but I do like a lot of things of this side. I'm torn. And I'm not sure about how I want to proceed with that. It's interesting. And again, that's probably for next week. I do have to find some pieces in the correct colors, like I said, but we did advance a lot. So this is how it's looking. At least it now has a head, has the arms almost complete, the legs almost complete, and so the chest and some shoulder areas. But yeah, thanks a lot for joining on today's stream. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you could not join today, you can always check the VODs on my Twitch channel or on my YouTube channel, same name, Pixel Crazy. You can also follow me on my social networks. You can see them below. I do post. I'm trying to post more regularly on both accounts, a bit of some of my builds and my progress, and perhaps a bit of my entire process. So thanks for joining. Have a great weekend, and I hope you have a good night. or more.